All right, what's up, guys? Happy, what are we on? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, happy Tuesday. Great to be back with you guys for another broadcast. Got lots to get into today, and it's great to see so many of our friends already popping on into the chat. Say hello wherever you're watching. Like always, we'll get things started by giving you all a bunch of shout outs with our pre-show roll call, and then we'll get the broadcast officially going at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Starting over on D Live, Q Boys holding it down over there. Good to see you, my friend. Joe Elaine modding our chats on Rumble and Pilled.net. Shout out to the fam over on Twitter or X. Great to see a bunch of you guys already popping in over there as well. Let's jump on over to Pilled. Let's It's where the magic happens, and we're the exclusive place to watch the full show, as usual. Hour number 2, exclusively on Pilled. Lightspear, what's going on, my friend? What's up, Lance? Delia and HL Paco. Floyd, Due Diligence, great to see you. Packers, 412. Lyle, Jenny, Curious One. Hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday. Floyd with a super fat ass Taco Tuesday cookie. Fantastic. Thanks again, Joe, for modding. Patriot 714. It's good to see you. Let's see who else is out there. Kang Chris and Denmom EO. Welcome, you guys. Good to be with both of you. Hey, there's Curious One. What's up, Jenny? Facts Not Fear. Barb Robbins. Truth Teller 101. KG. Roy, Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. Let's go, Roy. How are you? Kim Ha, good to see you. Kate, I said hi to KG already. Laura Y repping the 412. Let's go. R Harold. And damn, you guys, a lot of people in here pre-show. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Too quick. Good to see you. Don Ritchie, 17. Welcome. Cali Patriot, 14. What's up, guys? Welcome. Hey, Range Pony, good to see you. Up your volume a tad. All right. Well, up it a tad. I don't, it looks like everything's coming through, and I tested this earlier. It sounded fine. I think that you guys might just need to turn it up a little bit yourselves, because everything I've tested, the volume was more than loud enough. So it might be your device, your headphones, or whatever you're listening to, but I just bumped up the gain a tiny bit. So hopefully I'm coming through 5x5 today. What's up, Gray Man? How are you? Good to see you out there. the volume saga continues. Books will be written. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Sounds great, actually. Good. All right. Well, I'm glad we're off to a bit of a smoother start than yesterday. Before we get any further, I'm gonna go ahead and just kick off the show, play the intro, and I'm ignoring all comments about audio and volume today. Hopefully I don't come back muted. Pensitter, good to see you over there across the pond in England. You saw it here. Welcome. All right, guys, let's get this one officially underway. See you in a few minutes. Oh, happy Tuesday! New bomb shelter for the live studio audience is decorated for World War III. That's good. That's good, because it looks like we're being pushed in that direction, doesn't it? All right. See you guys soon.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
y'all for tuning in. Patriots united, doing what we gotta do to win. We addicted to MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the boot and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful. Then you're gone. But not us. We're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, let's go. We are officially starting our Tuesday broadcast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is November 19th, 2024. We've got a good one for you guys today. Riding solo for the moment. I believe Drunk Pinata will be jumping in here any moment as he finishes up thinking logically. Looks like he's going a bit long today, but no worries. Like I said, lots to get into. The Matt Gaetz fight continues. Lots of little updates there. What's going on with that? You have also Joe Biden pushing Russia towards World War III, trying to sabotage the incoming Trump administration. We'll get into that. Plus, I've got a bunch of other little things. An update out of Pennsylvania with the Senate race that the Democrats have been trying to steal. Some updates on the lawfare against Donald Trump as well, and the age-long debate going on in Congress. What is a woman? And who should be allowed to use the women's bathroom? Yeah, I shit you not. This is what we're dealing with right now. I guess out of Delaware, they elected a mentally ill man who calls himself a woman, and now there's a great controversy over what facilities he'll be able to use within the Capitol building. And yep, that is the state of our United States House of Representatives in the year 2024. God help us all. Yes, only cash. Roy Stones and Bones. That's the other thing too, is updates on this whole Kash Patel for FBI director, kind of being connected to Matt Gaetz and that whole thing. Negotiations going on in the Senate. Yeah, and I see we have some new we have some new personnel announcements as well from Donald Trump. So again, just lots to dig through and go over the next couple of hours. With me to do that, looks like Drunk Pinata popping in. How's it going, buddy? How was thinking logically today?
Pretty good. We had somebody, a leftist, reading word for word the what Yuri Bismanoff had said about the subversion of America, not from a right point of view, but from a leftist point of view, and saying that this is the situation we're in now, meaning that the people on the right are literally they're reading it word for word from the interview and not realizing that they're talking about themselves.
Yeah, it's like when the left reads Orwell, 1984, and they think that it's about like the right or Donald Trump.
Yeah, they even read to the part where in the very end they can show them all the proof that they want and they still won't believe it. And I'm telling you, that's the most ironic thing I think I've seen to date.
That's
Of
fantastic.
somebody on the left reading that, not understanding it's literally they're the person.
It is pretty funny, man.
And here's the thing, I'll take a step back and self-examine. I don't think I'm that person. I could, but for a lot of good reasons that I could probably articulate if we took more time for it, but we won't do that now. But the education system, and even the part where he says, the second generation that comes through, it takes a whole nother generation. We just saw that second generation that will take us back from the one that was subverted from the college educated and those high and mighty college educated white people that they're just like, some of these people they're just going on there saying we're never going to have free college because otherwise if everyone is educated they'd be Democrats. It's like, no, I don't think so.
I
So anyway,
I can't even put myself in the mindset of these people, man. It's the lack of self-awareness is unreal. But anyway, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry. Don't worry about Timberjet. His keyboard's broken.
Oh my God. I'm like scrolling up here.
It happened on my show too. He said his keyboard's messed up.
Wow. Okay. Well, best of luck to you there, Timberjet. I've never seen anybody put themselves in timeout before. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, there's a problem. It's a problem with his keyboard or something with like it's like stuck, and so it just spits the same sticker. And so because it does it so fast, Matt, I guess, has a thing on there, one of the mats, that it times yourself out.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully Timberjet's able to get a new keyboard soon and rectify that. But well, do you have anything you want to specifically play today to get us started, Pinata, or do you want me to kick us off with something here before the sponsors?
No, go ahead and go.
All right. Well, I'm going to start then with just some of the latest personnel picks from Donald Trump, because I see there's something that just came in about 15 minutes ago, and I see people in chat talking about it. So let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. 15 minutes ago, posted on Donald Trump's Truth Social page, says, I am very pleased to nominate Dr. Mehmet Oz to serve as the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, administrator. America is facing a healthcare crisis, and there may be no physician more qualified and capable than Dr. Oz to make America healthy again. He is an eminent physician, heart surgeon, inventor, and world-class communicator who has been at the forefront of healthy living for decades. Dr. Oz will work closely with RFK Jr. to take on the illness industrial complex. Ooh, I like that. And all the horrible chronic disease left in its wake. Our broken healthcare system harms everyday Americans and crushes our country's budget. Dr. Oz will be a leader in incentivizing disease prevention so we get the best results in the world for every dollar we spend on healthcare in our great country. He will also cut waste and fraud within our country's most expensive government agency, which is a third of our nation's healthcare spend and a quarter of our entire national budget. Dr. Oz graduated from Harvard College and earned a joint MD and MBA degree at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine and Wharton Business School, my powerful alma mater. He rose to become a professor of surgery at Columbia University while receiving numerous patents on his numerous patents. I said parents. Patents on his medical inventions, authoring more than 400 original publications and publishing numerous New York Times best-selling books. He won 9 Daytime Emmy Awards hosting the Dr. Oz Show, where he taught millions of Americans how to make healthier lifestyle choices and gave a strong voice to the key pillars of the MAHA, or Make America Healthy Again movement. Dr. Oz and his wife, Lisa, expanded this effort by founding Health Corps, a nonprofit that has improved the lives of millions of underserved teens nationwide over the past 2 decades. I have known Dr. Oz for many years, and I am confident he will fight to ensure everyone in America receives the best possible health care so our country can be great and healthy again. Yeah, I was never a fan of Dr. Oz as a senator. I thought it was a weird endorsement then. Maybe this role suits him better. I'm kind of indifferent towards this. Again, I do trust Donald Trump to put together the team he feels is necessary to achieve the mission that he sets out to, which is saving America from this Marxist infiltration of all of our major institutions. Clearly, he believes Dr. Oz is going to be a good counterpart to RFK Jr., a good working partner with him in attacking and addressing the country's health issues, our issues with chronic illness, and just really poor quality of healthcare in general. I don't know if it's poor quality of healthcare, but just the not very efficient, and I like how they call it the illness industrial complex. That's really what it is, from big ag through big pharma, big food being right there in the middle. It is an illness industrial complex. So I think that's perfectly described. And then we have another one here. So I'm thrilled to announce that Howard Lutnick, chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, will join my administration as the United States Secretary of Commerce. He will lead our tariff and trade agenda with additional direct responsibility for the Office of the United States Trade Representative. In his role as co chair of the Trump Vance transition team, Howard has created the most sophisticated process and system to assist us in creating the greatest administration America has ever seen. Howard has been a dynamic force on Wall Street for more than 30 years. He joined Cantor Fitzgerald in 1983 and rapidly rose through the ranks to become the president and CEO at the age of 29. Tragedy struck on September 11, 2001, when terrorists attacked the World Trade Center, and Cantor Fitzgerald lost 658 of its 960 New York based employees, including Howard's brother and his best friend. He emerged from these events with an indomitable sense of purpose to rebuild the firm, to honor those lost, support their families, and become a beacon of hope for those who remained. He was an inspiration to the world, the embodiment of resilience in the face of unspeakable tragedy. Howard and the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund donated $180 million to his 9/11 families. He remains deeply committed to philanthropic endeavors, donating more than $100 million to victims of terrorism, natural disasters, and other emergencies around the world. Howard is on the board of directors of the National September 11th Memorial and Museum and Weill Cornell Medicine. He was named the Financial Times Person of the Year in 2001 and Ernst & Young's United States Entrepreneur of the Year in 2010. Howard also received the Department of the Navy's Distinguished Public Service Award, the highest honor granted to non-military personnel by the Navy. So, couple of picks there from Donald Trump. Again, I don't know really much about Howard Lutnick either, so I won't act like I have any strong feelings about this, but I'll just kind of echo the same thing I said about Dr. Oz. He's made a lot of picks that I really do like to this point, and he seems to be putting in people that he feels are going to carry the America First mission forward. And I trust that he knows what he's doing and he's putting in the people that he needs. So 2 more picks from Donald Trump. You guys can put your thoughts on those out there in the chat, and we'll kind of keep an eye on those as they go by. But all in all, I still think the team is shaping up to be absolutely fantastic, and really looking forward to seeing them get to work after January 20th, 2025. You have any thoughts on either of these picks, Pinata, before I do our sponsor?
No, it seems like, just they seem fine.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly where I am too. All right, let's take care of our sponsor today, which is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com, run by our friend Jaylene up in Montana. Amazing wellness products, the ingredients for them locally and organically sourced. Top-notch stuff, guys. The CBD oils are incredible. They taste great. Amazing flavors like orange, ginger, bergamot, huckleberry, cinnamon bliss, cherry, peppermint. They're all very, very good. Something for everybody there. There's CBD oil for pets and the arnica salve, the topical cream, to help with your sore joints and muscles, offering some pain relief. You get that with or without CBD infused. Try the elderberry tonic to boost your immune system. Pair it with the white pine needle extract or the sunshine pine needle tea, which is great for detoxing. If you feel a little cold or sniffle coming on, those are great to have. Fire cider is really good for clearing your sinuses, and you have your colloidal silver as well. Insect repellent, the critter juice, all natural insect repellent. Just amazing stuff here. And the best part is right now, 24% off when you use promo code 412 at checkout. That's way higher than the normal 10% off. And that's going to be good through January 20th. After January 20th, it will go back down to 10% indefinitely. So make sure you take advantage of this while you can. If you're already a fan of these products, it's a great time to load up. If you've yet to try some of these, you've been on the fence, this is a great time to dip your toe in with the expanded discount here. One more time, earthgardenbotanicals.com. Promo code 412 at checkout for 10% off your order. And a big thank you to Jolene and Earth Garden for sponsoring as always. And thank you to all you guys out there who continue to support the show and our sponsors as well. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that red pill button. Please repost the show, share the links wherever you're watching as we get started here. And let's jump on in to our first story, which is around Matt Gaetz. They are really trying to assassinate him politically with these accusations that are, in my opinion, nonsense, right? If any of this was true, he would have had criminal charges against him. Merrick Garland's Justice Department had looked into this. They declined to bring any charges, which to me means there's nothing to this. But here we go. A so-called hacker obtained the transcript of testimony from the damaging Lawfare House Ethics Committee report of Matt Gaetz, according to the New York Times. CBS News also reported an unknown and unauthorized third party obtained 24 depositions from witnesses related to the investigation into Matt Gaetz. According to the Times, the hacker dubbed Alden Beasley obtained a tranche of documents, including 24 exhibits and sworn statements from a woman who testified she had sex with Matt Gaetz when she was 17 years old. Gaetz has denied the allegations, and the Justice Department declined to bring charges after investigating the matter. The House Ethics Committee was going to release a damaging report on Matt Gaetz last Friday, but because he resigned from Congress, the committee lost jurisdiction. However, the deep state has been selectively leaking parts of the report to the media, and now a hacker has obtained a trove of documents from the damaging report. Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress last Wednesday evening after President Trump announced his nomination for U.S. Attorney General. Quote, "It is my great honor to announce that Matt Gaetz, blah, 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 blah." We read the announcement. The House Ethics Committee years-long investigation into Matt Gaetz over allegations of sexual misconduct ended after the lawmaker resigned from Congress. The Gateway Pundit reported on the Ethics Committee revival of the junk allegations against Gaetz, even after the Biden DOJ exonerated Gaetz of criminal wrongdoing and dropped the charges in February 2023. The investigation was reopened in 2023 as Gaetz ramped up his challenges to former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was later ousted by Gaetz' motion to vacate the chair. Later, when Gaetz threatened to bring a motion to vacate against McCarthy in October 2023, McCarthy's Rhino allies began threatening to expel Gaetz based on the committee's investigation. Quote, "This investigation exists to do what the voters of my district won't, remove me from office," said Gaetz in September. This story obviously is still developing, but I'll repeat myself like I did before we got in there. If there was anything to this, Merrick Garland and his weaponized Department of Justice would have gladly gone after Gaetz, charged him, indicted him. Clearly, these witnesses are not credible. This is clearly a political hit job on Matt Gaetz, and there's been a target on his back since he ousted Kevin McCarthy, the uniparty stooge of the left, posing as a Republican and probably the shortest stint as Speaker of the House in a long, long time. So there's a target on his back, and now Donald Trump, announcing him as his AG appointment really kind of threw this into overdrive. He terrifies the system. He terrifies the career bureaucrats and corrupt attorneys within the DOJ. This guy is an existential threat to these institutions that have been largely weaponized against your everyday Americans, and fail to hold accountable those in power who are guilty of wrongdoing. So this is why you're seeing this. They're trying to create a leverage point to either get Donald Trump to switch his pick, or to leverage potentially some other positions that haven't been filled yet with swamp-oriented individuals. We'll talk about that in a bit, but this is where it stands right now. Anna Paulina Luna, a MAGA badass from Florida, another Florida congressman, went on CNN to speak about this situation. Let me make sure I'm sharing my sound. Here is what she had to say. Take a listen.
This is the same testimony that was, again, dropped by the DOJ and the FBI because these people were not credible. And I will say that for the senators that are coming forward and stating that they need to read this testimony, let's look into these people's stocks portfolios and how they're becoming multimillionaires off of $175,000 a year. The reason why people want outsiders, the reason why people are not buying this Gaetz smear campaign, and that is exactly what it is because of the fact that they understand that there is a two-tier justice system. You know, you mentioned earlier that I do think the DOJ is corrupt. Absolutely. When I find that they're giving special treatment to the Attorney General, that he doesn't have to testify to Congress yet. If any single other American does that, they go to jail. That is absolutely government corruption. But when you're then talking about cabinet picks, you're talking about an ethics investigation. I mean, I'm pretty sure Matt Gaetz has also been investigated for campaign misuse of campaign funds that were also dropped. So the fact is that Matt Gaetz has, again, time and time again, stood up to the swamp. Frankly, I know him as a person. I know his family. And I've been able to be privy to the conversations behind closed doors of members looking forward to this leaked ethics report because they know that it's going to smear him. I'm not going to state who the members are, but what I will state is that that type of behavior, putting this forward to the American people, smearing Matt Gaetz's reputation, and then also undercutting the credibility of President Trump, who, again, the American people trust to lead this nation, I'm not going to play that game.
So Luna coming to his defense, and surprisingly, hey, what's up, Scott? Woke Society's in the house. Love to see it.
This is the same test.
And surprisingly, I just saw this too. Apparently, Lindsey Graham also coming to Matt Gaetz's defense. Did not have this one on my bingo card, but Lindsey Graham is up for re-election this midterm, so this might have something to do with it. Let's see what Lindsey had to say. I haven't heard this yet.
Nobody should be disqualified because of a media report.
It's more than it's an investigation. By the department, he wants to lead bipartisan ethics investigation.
And they didn't proceed forward.
Wow. So Lindsey Graham defending Matt Gaetz. Now, he didn't say that he was going to vote to confirm Matt Gaetz, but not feeding in to the ravenous media that would love nothing more than to see this pick fail. So interesting. No surprise to see. No surprise to see Lindsey Graham. I'm sorry, Anna Paulina Luna defending Matt Gaetz, but Lindsey Graham has always been a very swampy establishment rhino type, someone that honestly probably doesn't want to see him get in as Attorney General, but again, up for re-election. The guy's a survivor, and he needs Donald Trump. They all need Donald Trump, especially in these midterms if they want to keep their Senate seats. They need him to stand on a stage at a rally on their behalf and get people out to vote for them. So maybe Lindsey Graham will play nice and be a champion for Matt Gaetz, if nothing else, but for his own survival, which would be good. We need more senators, especially ones as connected the leadership as Lindsey Graham to get behind Matt Gaetz. You really want to see this go through with Senate approval if possible. Although I still think that's a long shot. I think that Donald Trump and his team are going to have to be creative in how they get these appointments through if they don't want to make any major concessions on other picks. I got one more thing, and then I want your thoughts on all this, Pinata, where it stands right now. I got one more thing I just want to read. MTG, who's been on fire lately. If you saw her in the war room this morning, man, she was coming in hot. She's fired up today. She says, for my Republican colleagues in the House and Senate, if we're going to release the ethics report and rip apart our own that Trump has appointed, then put it all out there for the American people to see. Yes, all the ethics reports and claims, including the one I filed. All your sexual harassment and assault claims that were secretly settled, paying off victims with taxpayer money. If you remember, it was like a $17 million slush fund that was exposed back. I think it was like 2017, 2018, and who knows, what's been going on since then. That was a while ago. But for those of you that don't remember, it was discovered that there was a giant slush fund of I think it was $17+ million that was used to pay off sexual harassment claims against members of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Then she goes on to say the entire Jeffrey Epstein's files, tapes, recordings, witness interviews, but not just those. There's more. Epstein wasn't and isn't the only asset. Ooh. Oh man. If we're going to dance, let's dance in the sunlight. I'll make sure we do. So MTG not having any of this bullshit. So before I get into the next little phase of this, Pinata, do you have any thoughts on what they're trying to do to Matt Gaetz and the way the media is handling it, the way Republicans, Democrats, any insight you have on this whole saga so far?
Well, they're doing it across the board. I mean, they're saying that Pete Hegseth had something, RFK Jr. had something. It's but it's the go-to whenever they don't like a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to err on the side of that. When they're going through the vetting process, you can't tell me that they don't talk about this or this wasn't known.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no way Donald Trump is surprised by any of these lines of attack, nor would Matt Gaetz be. I don't think this was a spontaneous pick. This is, I think, probably well thought out and war gamed, knowing that there's no way you pick Matt Gaetz and expect the swamp to not react, not to push back, not to pull out every dirty trick in the book, right? So I agree. There's no way this wasn't vetted out. But here's the rub here. Here's what we're hearing, and I don't know if there's any validity to this or not. So don't get yourselves all worked up over this yet. But it says breaking news, and this is from Leo the Lion, 1964. I have no idea who this person is or how they're getting this breaking news. So take this with a grain of salt, but I bring it up for more of a point of conversation. It says breaking news. I'm hearing that there are negotiations taking place between Trump's transition team and GOP senators. The discussions are in regards to Gaetz, Tulsi, and RFK Jr., with the GOP wanting Mike Rogers as FBI director as opposed to Kash Patel, to which I say absolutely fucking not.
You know what you do? You agree, and then you fire him, and then you put Kash in.
Yeah, as acting too. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what you do. You say, okay, fine. If I can get all these people in, because he doesn't have to keep them in there forever. But
True.
of course, if he wants them to keep working with him for his agenda, they obviously would take that personally. But as far as where we are right now with this whole thing, if they're just saying that because of appearances purposes, then well, we can save them of that if they would like.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, I'm at the stage right now where the time for like being cordial, the time for compromising with terrorists, with traitors, with sold out corrupt politicians bought and paid for by lobbyists and special interests. The time for negotiating and appeasing them in any which way is over. The American people spoke very clearly what they wanted from this election. Donald Trump has a complete mandate from the people, and that's what matters. These senators, they don't matter. They don't matter. They're a bunch of stuffed suits. They're robbing you blind. The people voted against the rhino establishment as much as they voted against the Marxist left in this election. Make no mistake about it. There aren't there aren't Donald Trump voters out there that voted for Donald Trump and want to see John Thune's or Mitch McConnell's version of the Republican Party. They want the America First agenda. They want the sweeping reforms. They want the Matt Gaetzes, the RFK Juniors, the Tulsi Gabbards to be part of the team to shake things up. They see the managed decline of our country over the past several decades, and they're tired of it. They want America to return to its former glory and excellence. And that's only going to happen if you take a wrecking ball to these institutions that have been completely captured and shatter them into a million pieces and toss that dust into the wind and bring something that actually serves the people into place. That is what we voted for. Mike Rogers represents the old way of doing things. Here's Mike Rogers, a few little sound clips from him. Here's who the establishment GOP reportedly wants. And again, I don't know how accurate those reports are. There's a lot of rumors flying around, a lot of people engagement farming, putting out clickbait on this stuff because they know these things get you engaged. They know these things get you worked up. They know these things get you, you know, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for more and more and more. But the reason I bring it up is right now, hashtag only cash is trending on Twitter. I do believe that you have a lot of the Trump team monitoring the conversation on these platforms. I think they look at the overall vibe of the people out there, and I do think that you have an effect on how things move forward. Your voice matters. I truly believe that. So I bring this up not to get you guys to feel upset or to manipulate your emotions in any way. I bring this up to invite and encourage you all to get on these platforms, make a post, tag at Real Donald Trump, whether it's on Truth Social or on Twitter. Use that hashtag only cash. Let your voice be heard as far as what you want and what you expect, because it is your vote, your voice that put us in this position. And that all has, I believe, holds value in the eyes of this incoming administration. I believe they want to work for you. I believe they want to do right by you. And I think an adamant rejection of people like Mike Rogers could go a long way. Anyway, here's some clips of Mike Rogers, just kind of showcasing why he's everything we're working against. Take a listen.
And I credit George Bush and his administration for assembling this new intelligence community. They passed the Patriot bill that allows and takes the handcuffs off our intelligence services. Policymakers back here use words like illegal wiretap.
The domestic surveillance program of the NSA. It could be abused.
We're already seeing pressure on the Patriot Act that maybe we don't need it now. Couldn't be further from the truth. The bulk telephone metadata program is legal and effective. Provisions of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act expire at the end of this month. We need to rapidly reauthorize these provisions, and we need to work toward making these tools permanent as a part of our arsenal.
Self-restriction, big problem in U.S. intelligence collection.
We're the only intelligence service in the world that is forced to go to a court.
We always joked in the intelligence space, we would love to get 1/10 of what Google has on you. I supported these programs when they were classified, and I support these programs today.
There you go. Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers wants to be able to spy on you with no oversight. Mike Rogers wants the same systems that allowed for FISA-Gate and the Russia collusion hoax to remain in place. Mike Rogers cannot be FBI director. He just can't be. You will not have Mike Rogers go in there and do the job the American people demanded on Tuesday, November 5th. He will subvert this movement at every turn. He will continue the FBI down the road of being weaponized against the American people, and we just can't have that. We absolutely cannot have that. So I hope that we see Kash Patel again. Hashtag only cash, guys. Get it out there. Be loud about it. This is, I think this is like not the final piece, but the last like really key piece to the administration. You've got your AG, you've got your DNI, you've got RFK Jr. focusing on the big pharma, big food, big ad cartel. You've got a new FCC commissioner that's going to destroy the woke agenda and bring free speech back. Hold some of these news agencies accountable for the propagandizing of the people. You have so many key. You have Seth Hegsmith bringing an anti-war mindset to the Department of Defense. You have all of these major pillars being addressed in these picks. Almost on every level, you have somebody that I feel really, really represents what we're looking for here. Director of the FBI remains that one seat that remains ambiguous as to what kind of leader we're going to get. And we can't compromise there. It's such an important one. It's the most prevalent law enforcement agency in the country. It's gone so far overboard. It needs to be brought to heel. And Kash Patel understands that better than anybody. Remember, it was Kash Patel working with Devin Nunes that tore apart the Russia collusion hoax, that got into all the details, did the investigation, and uncovered the massive rot and corruption within that organization. He understands where it goes wrong. He understands where the bodies are buried. He understands like the institution inside and out based on his previous work. He's a guy that'd be able to go in there, hit the ground running, and make sweeping changes. Or maybe, who knows, shut the whole damn thing down. I don't know. If you ask Kash, he probably just wants to shut it down. I think he said he wants to shut it down and then turn the headquarters into a museum of government corruption. I believe was the exact quote. So he's the exact person we need. Hashtag only Kash. Again, guys, get out there and get loud about it. He would really round out this team beautifully. So we will see. We will see. Got a little bit more media here for you. Let me see in which direction I want to go with this. So this was on Piers Morgan, shifting to RFK Jr., because I know he's another very controversial pick. Piers Morgan, who's a left-leaning guy and typically not super friendly to Donald Trump or any kind of populist or America First movement, had, as he always does, and I give him credit, though, he does have interesting people on to debate these things and does a decent job moderating. But he had this, I can't remember her name. Let me see if it says it in the tweet. Where was it? Jillian Michaels. And I'm not sure what Jillian Michaels' background is. Says host of
she was on the Biggest Loser. She was like one of those like trainer people.
1.5 million followers on Twitter. So she's got a good following.
She kind of got red pilled through COVID stuff.
Okay.
She's been on Gutfeld a couple times. I think she was telling her story about that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, here's her coming to the defense of RFK Jr. And I thought she did a great job. So let's take a listen to this.
But this whole issue of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., it's interesting. Before I interviewed him, and I've interviewed him maybe 5-6 times now, I had a kind of view of him that I'd seen from the media, that he was a complete crackpot, that he was anti all vaccines and so on and so on. And that certainly wasn't the impression I got. And actually, the more I interviewed RFK Jr., the more impressive I felt he was. He's obviously fiercely intelligent. He's extremely well-read. And it seems to me he comes at this essentially from a good place. He wants more transparency, and he wants to make America a healthier place. Now, am I living in cloud cuckoo land, Gillian, or is that pretty much the reality?
That's exactly the reality. Is he eccentric? Yes, he's a little bit eccentric, but he's a good person. If you look at his history, this is a guy who sued Monsanto, DuPont, General Electric. He's an environmental attorney. His goal was to clean up chemicals out of our environment to help people not get cancer. Now, if you look at what he's promised to do, it's three things. So the first one, obviously, is he wants to end corruption. If you look at the revolving door between our government agencies and industry, it's terrifying. I could give you a million different examples of how scary this is, but let's go to one that everybody knows, which is OxyContin. The guy at the FDA who approved OxyContin went and took a cushy job for Purdue. There are a million examples like this. He wants gold standard research when it comes to vaccines and drugs, but particularly vaccines, because the research on those is not up to par. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. He wants human randomized control trials. So if you look at hepatitis B, which is one of the most controversial vaccines for kids, because it's specifically for people who have risky sex and use needles, and you can test the mother to find out if she's negative before you vaccinate the newborn. So why does a child even need this? Well, ironically, after the drug companies were given blanket immunity in 1986, they added 48 more doses of vaccinations to the schedule. But let's look at Hep B. What are the clinical trials that it goes through? I think your mind is going to be blown, and I encourage everybody to look this up. It's on the FDA's website. They tested 147 kids in 3 trials, and they monitored them for 5 days. Does that seem up to par? I don't think so. And then the second thing, and by the way, I could give you a million other examples just like this one. And the third thing is he was tasked with dramatically improving the health of Americans. And in case everybody's missed it, we are unhealthier than ever. 74% of adults are overweight or obese. We've all heard the diatribe. I'll run through it one more time. We're more infertile than ever. Infertility rates are going up 1% every year. Autism, 1 in 34 kids. It was like 1 in 10,000 when I was a child. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Does rock bottom have a basement? I don't think so. There's a loophole in the FDA that lets 10,000 chemicals into our food, 9,000 of which are banned in every other country of the developing world. I mean, my God, really? I think what you're seeing here is the absolute panic of big food, big farming, big pharma, and big insurance, and for good reason, because it's absolutely corrupt. And I, for one, am so excited about this, and I will do everything to help get this guy confirmed.
This right here is going to be one of the lasting legacies of a Donald Trump administration. RFK Jr. taking over Health and Human Services will be one of the things that leaves a stamp on this country for long after this administration ends. If he's able to get in there and successfully address the cartels behind these massive institutions of big ag, big food, and big pharma, if he's able to get in there and find a way to incentivize organic regenerative farming, organic whole foods, removing these pesticides, removing these additives, removing the poisonous nature of our processed foods from the market, or let's tax the shit out of them the same way you would tax other unhealthy things like tobacco or whatever else. Like let's find a way to kind of nudge people into the direction of making healthier choices. But by bringing all these major institutions to heel, changing our healthcare to focus on preventative measures like diet and exercise, lifestyle choices, as opposed to pharmaceuticals and Band-Aids after you already contract the disease or illness. The resources, the money that we will save, the mental state of our country, all of it is going to improve vastly. And hopefully it's set up in a way that will last into the future. There's a lot of ways that this needs to be attacked and addressed, but the chronic health issues, the chronic disease issue in this country has gotten out of control. And I think it plays a huge role in the mental health of this country and the ability, for people to think clearly, think logically, um, to resist a lot of the other forces out there, like the Mockingbird media and a lot of the distractions out there. I think that a healthy America, a healthy American, um, it is far harder to control and manipulate than what we have now. So this is such a massive deal, and one of the most exciting things happening with this administration. Make America healthy again. I think is an absolute game changer, and something that we need to get behind with every ounce of our energy. Calm down there, Piers. All right, so you have that. Now this was interesting too, and Pinata, you'll appreciate this, because our friend Chunky Yogurt, take a listen to this tweet. I don't know if you saw this or not, man, but I read it twice and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Here's Chunky Yogurt. I might have to start calling him by his real name if he continues down this path. I might have to start showing him a tad bit more respect. But Chunky Yogurt says, I asked Elon Musk to put me in charge of cutting the Pentagon. And he said, what are your suggestions? I run the largest left wing network online, and a Democratic leader has never asked me that question. The idea that they would take advice from a populist is disdainful to them. Now, which side seems more open and inclusive? Which side seems more welcoming, and which side tries really hard to drive you away if you disagree even a little bit with orthodoxy? Which side is asking for suggestions, and which one is demanding compliance and obedience? Yogurt, what is going on, man? My goodness, you're starting to sound like you might have been slipped a red pill at some point here in the
No, they
last
do
week.
this. No, they do this after the election. So what happens is there's a cycle.
Okay.
There's a cycle that the Young Turks do. This is credit to Hard Bastard, by the way. He does a show, does similar format to mine. He's actually where I got the format from. So credit to him for
Okay.
that. He's been doing this since 2016, and so I've seen the Young Turks for a long time. And there's a thing that goes on every single time. They're all independent, and they're all for the squad. They're all for against the Democrat establishment. And then as soon as the Democrat establishment obviously slabs the outsider picks like Bernie Sanders in the back, they go, well, we have to come together and coalesce around the Democrat candidate because we can't let fascism win or whatever nonsense they do. And then as soon as the election um, goes outside of their way, they're like, well, we told you. And so that's all about this kind of thing. And then at the end, after it doesn't go their way, because we have two examples of this: the previous one, the Trump one, and then now this one too, but to kind of go by. And it's seen and in the midterms as well, they kind of have this pattern. And now they're in the phase of, well, we're going to be all inclusive and mea culpa. They're trying to do the Morning Joe thing here. That's what they do.
Okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense. It's kind of like their survival tactic or part of their branding. It sounds like more than anything else. Um, do you see them like with Donald Trump being more popular than ever? Let's say his and we believe they will, but a year and a half from now, gas is cheap, the world's at peace, prices are down, everything's kind of going well for the Trump administration. Do you see him maybe out of pure survival, like becoming more friendly to America first, or do you think that he's kind of weaponized no matter what, and will
Oh yeah, he's
always
an operative.
he's an operative? All right, so um, I take back what I said about Chunky Yogurt. He's going to remain Chunky Yogurt indefinitely until he puts on a MAGA hat and really starts playing the game. He'll remain Mr. Yogurt. Uh, but anyway, I like seeing this, even if it is kind of part of the act. At least it does expose some of different mindset to their viewers every once in a while. Breaks up the homogeny of the messaging that they see, and even if he's calling it out in jest, he's still calling it out. And who knows? People read that and they're like, you know what? You're right. Like, it is kind of cultish the way the institutional left behaves. If you don't believe in everything that they say all the time, they come at you pretty hard. They exclude you from their club. They cancel you. They're very intolerant. So even if it is an act, the fact that he's being forced to do the act shows me that we're winning on some level here. So I'm glad you're here to call it out though, because I don't pay attention to chunky yogurt that often. I would have gone along like, oh, maybe he's starting to see things more clearly, but you're not buying it, is what you're
No,
telling
he
me.
goes in cycles.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I guess we'll enjoy this part of the cycle while it's happening, but ultimately not to get too excited about. All right. What time is it? 4:52. Let me see how much I have on this topic here. All right. Yeah, we have a few minutes. Let's go ahead and get into this. So right now, what you have is the Democrats in the Senate. They're trying to slam home 28 federal judges that would have lifetime appointments during this lame duck part of the Congress, the end of this session. What's infuriating about it is Republicans, if they show up to vote, actually can block this because Joe Manchin is voting no on many of these. The problem is Republicans are derelict of duty. They're not showing up to vote. They've already allowed, I think, one or two to pass. Only having 45 of them or 44 of them show up. This is completely inexcusable. Here's Mike Davis on the War Room kind of breaking down this situation. Take a listen.
Not the Senate runs by unanimous consent, largely agree to nothing, do not give consent to anything, do not voice vote anything, do not UC anything, grind the Senate to a halt. The American people put President Trump back in the White House in an overwhelming landslide victory, 312 electoral votes. The American people voted for a very strong Senate Republican majority, 53 votes. The American people want President Trump and Senate Republicans appointing constitutionalist judges. They do not want President Biden and Chuck Schumer and these radical Senate Democrats putting on these bottom of the barrel losers who are getting through the Senate process now because Senate Republicans can't find the time to show up to work and vote. Show up to work, grind the Senate to a halt. And people should go to article3project.org, article3project.org, and take action. And there is an action link there when you take action that says tell your senators essentially to show their asses up to vote. It's that simple. So light them up. Call them, send them emails, light them up on social media. And we're going to start naming and shaming Republican senators at the Article 3 Project who do not show up and vote. So do your job interview for a job you're not going to get via Skype or Zoom instead of going down to Mar-a-Lago and going through and embarrassing yourself and not getting a job.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Imagine making close to 200 grand a year. You work like 170 days out of the year. These guys are always going home and not, working. They have they live the easiest life on your dime. Imagine being a Republican senator and allowing the Democrat regime to install lifetime appointments. We've seen how much damage is done on the bench. We've seen these judges just ignore the Constitution and the rule of law, dismiss things on process when they shouldn't, deny people their day in court, allow politically motivated AGs and DAs to go after people, or vice versa. Just we've seen what bad judges can do. We've seen it throughout, my time doing this show. How in the world do you explain to your voters that you just weren't there, that you allowed lifetime appointments on the federal bench, not because you didn't have the manpower and votes to stop it, but because you couldn't be bothered to show up and vote, to slow down the process, to grind it out, to fight for the people that put you in office? That is absolutely despicable. That is absolutely despicable. It infuriates me. It's one thing if you're outnumbered, if it's, you know, a Senate makeup of a healthy Democrat majority that's going to force it down your throat. All right. Maybe there's nothing you can do. But in this case, there is. This can all be stopped. They could resist these appointments. And not only does it stop Joe Biden from putting in close to 30 judges that will make no mistake about it, will not go by the rule of law or our constitution, but will act in a political manner in the courtroom. But it denies Donald Trump almost 30 judges that he could appoint for life. Just think about that. It's absolutely despicable. I don't know what else to say about it other than you know, contact your senator if you have a Republican senator in your state and make sure that he's there voting and resisting, because make no mistake about it, the Democrats, they will gladly take these last, you know, 30 appointments, lifetime judicial appointments. That's so big. That's such a big deal. It's such a big deal. Yeah, activist judges, exactly, Monkey Toes. I wish I could say I find it hard to believe, but with what we've seen from the Republican Party to this point, I guess it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. They've been rolling over for the Democrat Party for quite a while. Guys, we're 2 minutes from the top of the 5 o'clock hour, so we're going to go ahead and take a little break, and we'll do hour 2 exclusively on pilled.net, like usual. So I hope that all of you guys watching on our other platforms will come over and continue to hang out with us today for hour number 2. Plenty to get into. There's a poll out there for Democrat primary contenders in 2028, and it's pretty interesting to see. So I want to go over that with you guys. We got to talk about this situation with Russia, Ukraine, and how they're pushing us towards World War III. Darren Beatty over at Revolver News has a good article on that we could get into. More updates on the media landscape. You know, this is a conversation I want to continue to have over the next few years, because I believe we're in a time of major change when it comes to the media landscape and how people get their information and what will become the mainstream, what was formerly the mainstream that is going away. I think that's a really interesting topic, and we're going to keep hammering on that going forward. We've got an update on the Senate race in Pennsylvania, the blatant voter fraud by the Democrat Party, an update on some of the lawfare Donald Trump is dealing with still. And then, again, the age-long debate of what is a woman becoming a huge topic of discussion in the House of Representatives. It's unbelievable. The world we live in right now, guys. All of that in hour number 2. I hope, again, you guys will come and be a part of it. I'll put the link in the Rumble chat. It's already in the Rumble description underneath the stream. We'll throw it over on D Live for you guys as well. So we'll play this video here, and then we'll come back on the other side, officially say goodbye to our other platforms. We'll go through your gold pill chats, and I appreciate all of you supporting the show to this point. Yeah, continue on from there. See you guys in 45 seconds.
Pilled.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you to everyone who has found their way over to pilled.net. It's really easy. Pilled.net in your browser. You can find us there at 412 Productions. It only takes a couple of minutes to create an account and get situated. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's a great community. It's a true free speech platform over there. Everything's built from the grassroots up, meaning no big tech infrastructure. IBM or Amazon Web Services or any of those major companies that might say, hey, you need to have these hate speech rules in your terms of service or we're going to deny you our service. Same with the app stores, things like that. We don't rely on any of them over there, guys. It is a completely unleveraged platform. It's got great features, a great team behind it, and an awesome community of patriots and free speech advocates that we'd love to see you guys join. Again, it's pilled.net. Our channel over there is 412 Productions. That link, again, is in the video description underneath the Rumble stream, and I threw it in the Rumble and BeLive chats as well. So find your way over, make an account, come hang out with us in the chat. It's an absolute blast over on Pilled, and I hope to see you all there. If not, if this is where we say goodbye for the day, no worries. Tomorrow we've got I think it's actually just our me and Pinata. Craig Mason isn't able to join us this week. I'm working on seeing when we might be able to get him next week to make up for it, or we might just have to miss a month here with Craig. Hopefully that won't be the case. Thursday's taking it back with Frank and Zach. And then Friday we've got M3 Methods to Madness going to be joining Deplorable Discussions, talking news and politics, which super excited. We've done a couple Saturday morning chats with M3, just kind of talking more high level stuff, not really getting into any details. It'll be great to get M3 back in the conversation around all the stuff that we talk about here on a daily basis. So I'm really looking forward to, bringing his insight onto the show for you guys on Friday. Saturday morning, I'm planning on doing a Saturday morning chat. I don't know what the format will be exactly, but I do plan on coming on here and hanging out with you guys, depending on, what there is to talk about news-wise. I might just do like a solo news thing with you guys. I might open up the lines, might just do some music. Who knows? But Saturday morning, I am planning on getting together with you all. And then next week, definitely going to have 45-1 Actual and the No Prisoners podcast crew joining us on Wednesday. I believe that will be let me just double check and make sure I got it just right. Wednesday, the 27th, we'll be having those guys on. So lots of good stuff coming up here on Deplorable Discussions. So one last chance to jump on over to pill.net and find us at 412 Productions for this 5 o'clock hour. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and I hope to see you all hanging out with us on tomorrow's show at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.